Welcome to Whispers Within, a podcast by Raf Masiga, where each week we dive into the stories, reflections, and thoughts that shape our everyday lives. Whether it's personal experiences, a thought-provoking idea, or a simple moment of inspiration or yapping, join me as you explore the moments that make us who we are, one week at a time. Hey you, I hope you're good. Let me first start this episode by wishing my friends a happy birthday, a happy belated birthday, of course, because their birthday was last week. One of them is my former manager, our former manager at Campus Annoying Podcast, that is Acute, who was celebrating his birthday somewhere around last week. I think so. Thursday, Wednesday. And a good friend of mine, Wanjiro Maina, a big shout out to you, who was celebrating her birthday over the weekend. Her birthday was actually on Friday. And everything just turned out perfectly. From the photo shoot to, the location where the birthday party was hosted. I could just, it was fantastic. Happy birthday, and may you all age gracefully. Let me also not forget to thank the people who have tuned into episode 8 of Whispers Within. That is the last episode before this episode. And for those who came to my DMs to give me their feedbacks on that particular episode. And it was I was happy to see that, because people are learning a lot, and especially on the fare issue, like having extra money with you anytime you're in a matatu, and the fact that people are coming in their feedbacks, you could see people appreciate the fact that it is true that nowadays we are measuring on mobile transactions, which is a good thing. But now this is the repercussion. It can fail you at the time when you need it. What do? Have extra cash with you. The feedbacks were amazing. Thanks to everyone who found time to come and give me some feedbacks on my socials, and also the people whom we had some engagements, maybe through the calls or face to face, and they're like, I was actually listening to your episode, and I learned about this, I learned about that. It meant everything. The fact that I knew wewe sasa mwenye umesikiza, you're not likely to meet yourself in those fair disputes with matatu touts and all that. Anyway, let us move to the main topic for this week, which is sex, crime, and money. Trust you me, this episode is again an educative episode, because when it was happening, actually it's a story that happened. It's a true life story that happened when I think end of January or beginning of February. And let me take you back to episode 7, where I was talking about major setbacks. In that particular episode, I was talking of how I was now going to the police station just to follow up on my case. Now, in the process of me going to the police station, one of the days which I went, of course, to the police station to follow up with my case, the reason I met this case happening in the same room that my case was to be handled. So there is no way ingenipita tu hivo, lazima ninge collect chai lazima ningechota. Anyway, it was a story of a certain lady, young girl, who had gone to the police station to report a case of being sexually harassed. My case and her case were being handled by the same policewoman. So the one who was handling my case is the same policewoman who went to handle her case. And I was just now there chilling, waiting for her to finish. So I was getting all the details. Yes, I was getting all the details. And this girl happens to, according to her claims, she is 17 years old, not yet turned 18. That means she's a minor. And the guy who has been reported by her was 18 years old, according to the girl. So the case starts, I think she had narrated, of how the incident went down, because could it be rape? How did this person manage to convince you and take advantage of you? So to me, where I was seated, I was just trying and analyzing the whole story, and I'm like, then this could be a result of rape, because if you've come to report a case of being sexually harassed, then this is definitely rape. It means you had no agreement. But oops, I was wrong. Funny thing, now this story starts turning out that these two had an agreement, a mutual agreement, and the lady is the one who made the suggestion, like, hey, hey Flanny Flanny, why don't we do this? you know and as a gentleman, I am down for it, not I, but my goodness, my mom listens to my podcast, not I, but the gentleman who was involved was down for the offer, and whatever happened. And now after the happening, let me just call it after the happening, that is when now the lady was like, wewe utajua hujui, mkono wa sheria nilisikia ni mrefu, it's about time the mkono catches you. So the lady takes herself to the police station carrying a document that she is going to prove she's 17 years old and this guy is 18 years old, and this guy has just taken advantage of her. So now, since it was a ladies' affair, the policewoman called this guy who was involved in this case, and he was like, hey, I'm Flanny from this particular police station, and there's a case about you, and we just do not want to come and look for you, because if we do, then it will be messier. So kindly do us the favor and bring yourself to the police station. And that was the end of the phone call. So this guy takes Nduthi, I think he has Nduthi guy ama alikonga tu bishtake, I just don't know, and he brings himself to the police station. So by the time I was actually arriving, this guy was outside the police station, like outside the nyumba ya mabati the Tumabati house that our Kenyan government thinks that is where our police should be serving the citizens of this country. What a shame. Anyway, the case went on, and it came to a point where now this policewoman is becoming harsh on this lady, because it came to a point where now the story that this lady was giving was contradicting, and now they couldn't actually get the actual story. I mean, you're telling us this, then the next minute you tell us that. What is your true story? It came to a point where other police women were involved. They were called and they came and they were now like on this girl's neck, you have to tell us the truth, because the guy who is involved is right here in the police station. We just want you to finish up with your story. We call him, we come hear his story, and then from that we can judge, or we can make our judgment. So the guy is all over shaking, all over trying to act as the victim, all over crying, and how to enye kuna watu wako na talanta, because this guy was acting like the victim and she was not the victim. That is actually coming later in this episode. Just wait and hear how things later turned out, because man, we have to be careful. As men, we need to be careful. So now this lady narrates a story again, and now this policewoman gets to a point where she is annoyed and she's like, you know what, just get out and do me one favor. As you get out, make sure you call your auntie, because I am not going to deal with you again if your auntie is not here. So I come to understand that this girl lives with the auntie, and lives under the care of the auntie, I think somewhere in Juja or Thika. I think Juja. Let's just say it was Juja. So and the girl now, after she heard that the auntie is being summoned, she's all over saying, oh, ako kazi, and the policewoman is like, I don't care. Look at me. I don't care whether your auntie is working or not working. Just call her and tell her she is needed at this police station this minute. And now the policewoman comes back to my case, because it was my case takes a break. She goes handles that other case. That other case takes a break. My case continues, and it went on and on and on. So the policewoman walks out again, goes to find the lady, and the lady is all over outside crying, holding her phone. She's not actually even calling the auntie. And there is when the policewoman was like, give me your auntie's number. I am going to call her myself. And the policewoman calls this auntie. And she's like, you have to come to this police station, because your girl is here and she's having very serious claims of being sexually harassed, or can I say of being taken advantage of sexually. And I don't know what was the response from the auntie, but trust you me, I think she was going to appear at the police station. So in the process, I was just out there moving from one office to another, going to say hi to the many police officers that I had been connected to, and I was also going fetching tea, because this tea was too hot to just be left alone. So I was quote unquote fetching tea. And I was now back to the Mabati houses for my case to resume. So I went, sat down there. Kumbe, the minute I'm getting into the Mabati house, this lady was already in. So like her case now began. And I was just there listening and paying attention and judging. In my mind, kwa zile za guy kasichana, kwani hufikiri ile kulijipataje hapa and such kind of things. Secondly, I was so eager to meet this guy who apparently was accused of, sexually harassing the girl. And then I was just there chilling, trying to peep outside because the police officer is saying, kijana kwa hapa nje, naweza muita, so tuambie story yako venye iko before I call this guy. So I'm all over looking outside, looking at the men, trying to judge them. I'm like, nani anakaa kufanya hivyo? Who seems to be that kind of person who can take advantage of a minor? That was me. And forgive me for that. I mean, I know it's wrong to judge people, but now that was me. I mean, I was just trying to, I don't know what. Acha nisijitete sana. So it now gets to a point where a very interesting point in this story. Kumbe, the girl is not a minor. The girl is actually 18 years old. Yes. And at this point, she was carrying her birth certificate, which I was calling it the document in the beginning of this story. And now she was carrying her document, which is the birth certificate, confidently enough, saying that I am 18 years old, I do not have an ID, so that makes me a minor, and you can't just argue that fact. But only for the police officer to take the birth certificate and only to find that this lady was born on July of 2006. Yes, July of 2006. So when you do plus 18 of 2006, then it comes to be July of 2024. It means that this girl turned 18 last year, July. I mean, I know in some episode I mentioned of how I lose count of my age to a point where after I celebrate my birthday, kama sai nikienda hosini ulizwe how old I am, I have just to make the calculation. I have to ask maybe like my dad, I'm like, how old am I? That is in case kama tumeenda cause kuna some checkups, my parent has to be there. Don't ask me what kind of checkups. Next week on the beginning of an episode, I'll just give you a brief story about that. I have to ask somebody who has taken me for checkup, or I am there on my phone, calculator on, and I'm trying to calculate my age just for me to tell the doctor I am 23 years old. But now I was like, I know, nacho sijui miaka zangu. But now this is just too much, because I remember myself turning 18. I mean, anybody turning 18, knowing that you're going to get an ID is usually such a big deal, to a point that you don't even forget that you turned 18, and the only thing you're waiting for is that identity card. I mean, I can be 22 and forget and just say I'm 21. That's usual, because I mean, sasa hizi nishagonga hata 20 nakumbuka hiyo ingine ya nini, but now me turning 18, there ain't no way I'm going to forget that nime turn 18. Ain't no way. So this lady forgets that she turned 18 last year, that is 2024 July. And when now the police officer being like, wewe acha kutuona fala, here's the calculation, this is your age, kasichana, you're 18 years old. Those were the words from the police woman. And now even other police women were shocked. Now see wameingililia story. So now the story took a break, so they took a break also. But once they heard that this girl is 18 years old, that is when now they ingililiad. And now they were like, now this is getting serious. You better tell us the whole story of how everything turned out before history kugeuke. So the girl starts crying. And the girl start to be like, yes, I know that I am 17 years old. Nyinyi wengine sijui mnaniambiaje. And she goes ahead to say that the mother is the one who tells her that she's 17 years old. That was funny because now the police officer is like, okay, your mother tells you 17 years old, but what does the document say? If I go to the court of law, I am going to carry this as the evidence that you're 18 years old. And now the policewoman gets serious with this lady and she's like, hata ulie mimi siwezi kuhurumia until you start your story again from scratch. Tell us how things unfolded, because now this story is going to be against you. This is now the shocking part. The guy who now the lady was claiming to be 18 years old is actually 17 years old. So the guy is the minor. And the girl who was claiming to be 17 years old, she's 18 years old and months zingine juu, like maybe 18 and a half, waiting for July of this year to turn 19. So now the police officer is clear and she tells this girl, acha nikusaidie mami, you better tell me the truth, because pale kwenye information test kama whatever that thing is called, umeandikisha statement, and the statement reads that you are the minor who this guy took advantage of, and you stated clearly the age of this guy is 18 years old, but this guy is here and he has produced his document and this guy is actually 17 years old and you're 18 years old. And at this moment now the guy had given his story, and the part of the story was this girl is the one who lured the boy to have whatever they had together. Mimi hapo I am like, well, it's getting interesting. Now let me tell you something which is a shocking thing. Kumbe the auntie who was called to appear to the police station, I don't know whether she came or she didn't come, because by the time I was leaving, she was not yet someone in that room. So it was just the girl, and sometimes the guy was coming in, alafu anaambiwa toka tutakuita tena. So by the time I was leaving, there was a finding that was shocking, that this is not the first time this girl is going to make such kind of claims. It is not the first time that this girl has gone to report a case of someone has taken advantage of her. Like kuna mtu ameenda, let me just call it rape, because I mean, what is taking advantage of someone sexually and this person is underage? I mean, that's a case of rape, because it means sija agree to your offers, and that is why I'm reporting you. So it's not the first time the lady has made such kind of what can I say, claims or cases in the police station. And the many cases she has been involved in, you meet now that the person who has been reported making compensations to this family, kumbe it's a thing that they have planned. So the lady, the young girl, amerecruitiwa by the auntie and sometimes the mother, because before she went to stay with the auntie, she was also living with the mother, and that was the same thing that was happening. So she go have sex with somebody and she has to make sure that this person is of 18 and above, and she's less than 18. So she go do the thing and then later run to the police station and report a case of being sexually harassed. And now from that moment, she just get compensated money wise. So this time round, when the girl was there, she was also saying that, she deserves to be compensated. She had mentioned that, because I remember that is where now the police women, they laughed and they were like, kumbe that is why this girl was insisting much on being compensated for whatever act this guy did. I do not know how the story ended, but the girl was warned and the girl was told, now it's the high time you now know how you're going to talk to this guy, because this guy has full support of the law, just in case he decides to go and file a case against you. Mimi hapo niko zile za if it was me this minute, ningekuwa kitabu sijui naitangwa ubiama nitangwa nini, nikiandikisha statement, because there is no way umeniharibia jina huku nje. Because definitely kwenye tumetoka now, everyone knows of this case. Everyone knows that I am in the police station because I've been reported for this and this and that. I mean, umeniharibia jina, umeniharibia my image. I would actually, I don't know, but I'll just file a case against you. And it just made me think, I mean, we as men should be careful out here with the kind of people we are interacting with. We might go to sherehes. Recently, there was a free sherehe Safaricom. You just had to CG purchase what worth of 20 bob and you're free to enter. That was the entrance whatever. I don't know whether kama kila mtu alikuwa at 20 bob walilipa. Imagine going to such an occasion. Yes, it was M-Pesa turning 18 and I'm sure walikuwa meka maybe restrictions of wale watakuwa ni 18 plus. But trust you me, akwezi kosa way where an underage can penya. We should just be careful. We should just be cautious of the kind of people we are dealing with when it comes to our sex life, when it comes to, our sex life, when it just comes to our sex life and our love life. Sijui mbona nimesema sex life mara more, but yes, when it comes to our sex life and our love life, we should be very cautious, we as men. This case, I have mentioned severally on Campus Online podcast that after God fear podcasters and then after podcasters fear women. But let me tell you, it's just the other way around. After God fear women. But God is because we should fear God. After women, because of their drama and the many things they can make you go through. Now fear podcasters. Because podcasters nakuambia na stories za watu huku nje. This is tea nimekuja kuwapatia na nichaia story ya mtu mwingine mwenye nilipata huko nje. That is why you should fear podcasters. But women... women... Anyway, this particular episode, I feel like there's a lot to learn, yes, deep lessons to learn, but individually. Now this is you, take that story, try to analyze it and learn something from it. Anyway, I don't have anything left for this particular episode, but I just feel good the fact that it has been more of a story. So thank you so much for keeping me company to the very end. And also thank you so much, nilikuwa nimesahau kusema hii, thank you so much to everyone who streams via my YouTube link. Nilikuwa nadhani nilikuwa naitengeneza tu for nothing, but at least I can see some 3, 4, 5 people using the link. At least that is quite encouraging, and thank you so much to everyone who supports me by tuning into this podcast and others who also go an extra mile to share the link to their friends and family. Anyway, see you next week.